Hey guys, welcome back to Filter Coffee Football. We are here with an episode that's going to be a little juicy, a little controversial maybe, because of the picks that we have. The topic that we've chosen to talk about is, let's talk about some underrated managers currently managing sides in the Premier League. We've picked four managers in no particular order, and now we'll just dive in straight. And before that, I want you guys to please like, share, subscribe our channel. Also comment on our videos. Please give us your feedback. Let us know what you think about who should be in that list or why is this manager in this list. And follow us on Instagram at Filter Coffee Footy and also comment there as well. The more the merrier, right? So without further ado, I'll start off with probably the most contentious one because I've really had a long argument before even starting this podcast, and that is Sean Dice. Take it over.
Yeah, so Sean Dyche is my pick for an underrated manager in the league, and not for the pretty football that they play, but just for the consistency that he has got the club. Burnley serially spend very little money. They have a really bare bones squad, one of the probably the smallest squad in the Premier League, also one of the oldest squads in the Premier League for the last, I think, 2 or 3 seasons. I think only behind Crystal Palace at one point. Who even they have rejuvenated their team, and Dyke just keeps managing to keep them in the league. Like even last season they finished 17th, but they never really looked super threatened to go down into the relegation area. So I just think it's amazing how, despite probably having spent the least amount of money amongst any club, and if you're talking about teams that get promoted and spend 50 plus million every season, here is Deitch, who's had the same squad almost for the last half a decade, and they've just been playing their own unattractive physical football and still sticking it out in this league. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. He's not going to win any leagues or any trophies, not even a Carabao Cup anytime soon, but he definitely deserves credit in my book for kind of keeping that club together and keeping it in the Premier League, even though that team probably doesn't deserve to be there. But yeah, moving on to our next pick, we're going to go to Dean Smith from Aston Villa. Karthik, why don't you take this one?
Yep. So Dean Smith has endured a difficult start to life this season. It's like they've got only 4 points out of a possible 12. They've been unlucky, so to say, against this Chelsea side that they played against last week. If you just look at the game, you could figure out how good a manager he is. Aston Villa were attacking and they were all full of intent for the first 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes itself tells you how smart that manager was to pick a side that would take the fight to Chelsea. I mean, I don't really want to bog you down with more information, but just those small clips which make you realize, okay, there is more depth to this manager. Last season, there was this contention that, oh, they had Grealish. Grealish was the one saving them. Could be very well, but it's always a player and a manager that takes a side ahead. And they survived relegation. They've sold Grealish obviously for a huge amount. They've probably gotten good replacements. I think Dean Smith deserves a fair chance this season to really show his potential. There are rumors considering his sack because of his indifferent start, but I think that would be a bit too harsh for a manager who's done all that he can for a side like Aston Villa. And after that, after Dean Smith, I think there's another controversial name here. He has managed quite a lot of sides in the Premier League, in Europe, and this is none other than Rafa Benitez. Why don't you take this over?
Yeah, I mean, this is controversial in so that I think most people probably will disagree that he is not underrated. But I mean, most Everton fans weren't super thrilled when they signed Rafa. And I think overall in football as well, most people were kind of like, yeah, I mean, everyone thought that Carlo Ancelotti was such a great signing. The guy who won Real Madrid La Decima. And then after that, you're talking about Rafa Benitez, who had his heyday in Europe a long while ago and just came off of a back of a okay spell with Newcastle, where again I think he did a fabulous job. But Steve Bruce coming in doing pretty much the exact same thing probably hasn't painted him in the best light. But I mean, right out of the gate, you can already see Rafa Benitez is already leaving a mark. Um, Big tussle with James Rodriguez, probably not in his plans. So he's already making some really big, bold decisions. The club having not spent a whole lot of money because they just don't have those funds. Again, putting a manager like Rafa in a tough spot. But he's made players like Andros Townsend and Damari Gray look amazing on the ball. Dominic Calvert-Lewin again keeping up his pace, becoming a world-class striker, or at least slowly approaching a world-class striker status. And I don't see how this Everton team finishes outside of the top eight this season. I honestly believe that given more time, the team is only going to get better and better. And this Everton team is going to be a whole lot better than what people originally give them credit for. He's going to do a much better job than Carlo Ancelotti. So I definitely think Rafa Benitez is not getting the kind of plaudits that he will soon get from people as the season approaches its end. So here's me calling out that Everton are going to do amazing, and it's going to be because of Rafa. But yeah, moving on to our last one for the day. Again, this one I did not agree with because I personally love this guy and I think he's an amazing manager. So when Karthik brought it up, I thought there's no way he's possibly underrated. But again, he hasn't had the most brightest start on paper again for his team. But yeah, our final pick for today was a Graham Potter for Brighton Hove Albion. Karthik, go ahead, justify your pick.
So to start off, I'll just want to say, look at Brighton's XG. That's the new stat term that's like super popular nowadays. Look at their XG versus the number of goals they've scored. I mean, that tells you how unlucky they've been. And for a side to have that much of an XG, they have to be playing progressive football. They have to be playing much better than a side who's just going to like just about survive by playing route one football or old school or employing just old school tactics, so to say. Correct?
No. Keep going. I was just,
Oh,
I didn't like how you uh, went through the Sean Dyche route, but no, go ahead.
oh, I thought you said you went over mine. That's why I said cut.
Keep it going. Sorry.
Okay. Now that's making me laugh once again. Oh shit. So, ठीक है. Okay. Graham Potter actually brought out some stars like Yves Bissouma, Ben White, hides face because Arsenal fan, and I mean they also have other players like a Neil Maupay, for example. Not the best at it,
I mean,
but not
Lamptey
the
is injured, but there
not
is
the
Tariq
worst.
Lamptey.
And Tariq Lamptey, yes, definitely. He's rated way too high. At least that's what I feel. But a big prospect. He's got a good side. He's bringing out some progressive football for a side that's all mostly in the bottom half of the league. I know they did not really have a great end to last season. They finished 16th. But look at the football they play. Compare it with the dynamics of a club like Norwich, which also was trying to play attractive football previously when they were in the Premier League, but they got beaten badly and they got relegated as well. That's where I see the difference in a Brighton side led by Graham Potter, where they're trying to do better at what they are, probably punching above their weight, and maybe they'll end up better this season than last. I know it's controversial. I know he was also rated way too highly by other journalists, other blogs as well. He was in contention for a top 8 job, which did not work out well. But I think he deserves much more recognition than we usually associate him with.
I mean,
That
yeah,
was my pick.
yeah, Brighton sitting fifth at the moment, so that's really exciting for Brighton fans. But yeah, guys, that was our pick for four managers that we think currently underrated in the Premier League. It was really hard to pick actually because it's kind of slim pickings right now, which is quite amazing that there is so much good quality, or at least everybody knows their place in the Premier League. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please like, share, subscribe. Put down in the comments who you think we should have included in the list, and maybe the ones that you don't agree with in the list as well. And yeah, please share it with everybody else. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram as well, and comment in there too. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Take care. See ya. Bye.
Alrighty. Bye bye.